Mandela effect and how the particle accelerator altered the weight of one electron and therefore destroyed our universe and shifted us into the universe that's directly next to it, and therefore things are different in this universe.
So you believe that this thing that some people call the Mandela effect is actually real?
Oh, absolutely real.
Can you describe what it is for people who have never heard it before?
Sure. So the Mandela effect is the effect of some people thought that Nelson Mandela died at a certain time, and other people remember it as a different time. And this goes for a lot of other things. You know, Star Wars, classic videos, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Everybody knows that. Well, if you actually look back to the original film, it's not Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. It's Magic Mirror on the Wall. And some people actually...
Which, of course, it's not.
It's not,
in
right.
the reality I grew up in.
Right, exactly. In an alternate expansion of our universes. Even in my own scientific notes, I've found rewritten signatures and things that are a little bit different from originally what I wrote.
So how did that actually happen? Let's take your notebook, or let's take Mirror, Mirror on the Wall.
If you thought the craziest parts of the Kate Middleton conspiracy theory were over, well, just get ready because they keep getting thicker. Because people have put it together, and this face is an exact copy and paste of the face Kate Middleton made for a Vogue magazine back in 2016. And this video showing an exact overlay proves it. Look at this, the Vogue magazine cover, and as it blends out, it is the exact same face from this photo. Now, if you still don't believe me and you think it's still just a fluke, this is the picture overlaid with half of it erased, and look how exactly everything lines up. The possibility of these two photos lining up perfectly is near zero. And one of the craziest parts of this whole conspiracy is the royal family seems like it wants to do anything but actually show Kate Middleton. For example, all the questions people have been having about this photo were addressed by a tweet supposedly put out by Kate Middleton saying, "Oops, sorry guys, I messed up on Photoshop, it's my bad." And then the royal family releasing this photo saying, "Oh guys, look, Kate Middleton's out and about with her husband. We can't see anything." And I think one of the biggest pieces of evidence that something's wrong is in reality, if she was okay, you know the royal family would say, "Hey, get on Instagram Live and say, hey guys, here I am, this is a live video, I'm totally fine." But they're not. They're doing literally everything they can to not show her face. Something fishy's going on, and when it finally gets revealed, it is going to be huge. But that's my opinion. What do y'all think?
Look at everyone filming, man. Yo! Get him out!
Kalau saya lagi senang seperti ini, dia akan muncul di bawahnya jadi happy. Dan ketika saya marah, dia akan muncul di bawahnya angry. Dan juga ketika saya sedih seperti ini, dia akan menunjukkan bahwasanya saya sedang sedih, sad.
Yo, 560 years. That has to be a very old ghost.
In there.
I would never sleep in that house again. I just have to say.
There isn't one, but the evidence will be clear. So like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses,
Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's
That
not,
is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is. So 20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. It wasn't because I was a prophet. It's just I had gotten so much information that I understood that
pattern.
things are secular. So I understood that the earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender. And so I knew that in the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ass ring.
Really?
And it said both of those things. So I knew that both of those things would become popular in the future, and that somehow calling people the goat would be normalized over the sheep being always the most popular reference.
Holy smokes, you're not going to believe this, but there is, in fact, a Diddy and Michael Jackson connection. Yes, the lawsuit that we have been covering and following, so much being revealed. You're not going to believe that somehow it is connected to Michael Jackson and his death. And I gotta be honest, I'm kind of terrified. I think this is gonna be the last day that I cover it, because we're getting close to something that is very dangerous. All right, so I wasn't kidding at the top, guys. I am probably not going to cover this anymore because it is definitely getting a bit terrifying. Obviously, we covered this. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch. I believe it was Monday's episode. But yes, the Diddy lawsuit is absolutely crazy. Full stop. What if I told you guys that it is about to get even crazier, that there is directly a link to Michael Jackson's death? I want to be clear that when everything was going on with Michael Jackson, the lawsuits, his death, I thought that we were in full conspiracy theory territory when people were saying that Michael Jackson was killed. I actually know a lot of people that are in the industry who believe that Michael Jackson was killed, and I just thought it just sounds too whacked out.
Osiris is the founder of the Jedi Knights, DJEDI. You thought the Jedi came from Star Wars, didn't you? No, Star Wars copied that from the text, from the Kemet information. Osiris is the originator of the Jedi. I taught this in my Egyptian mystery school, which is on Forbidden Knowledge TV. So the Jedi Knights did not originate in Star Wars and Hollywood. They originated because they actually are part of the Osirian system. And who is Osirian? Who is Osiris and the Osirian? It's Orion, the belt of Orion. Those stars have planets orbiting them. The origins of the Jedi come from that region of the sky, according to the text. So we're talking about the constellation of Orion moving in coordination with Earth, with the alignments on Earth, which align with Orion. And it's said that those alignments happen every 13,000 years, which is right about now. And that when those alignments occur, the Jedi rise and awaken again. So we're living in the time of the rise of the Jedi right now. This is the time to rise and become the Jedi.
I think Egypt really has some mysterious things, like we can't unravel all of Egypt's mystery.
No, wait, it gets so much worse. John Barnett had been working for Boeing for 32 years until his retirement in 2017. In the days before his death, he had been giving evidence in a whistleblower lawsuit against the company. The 62-year-old had died from a self-inflicted wound. No, it gets worse. He worked for Boeing for 32 years as a quality manager in the North Charleston plant. In 2019, he told BBC that workers had deliberately been fitting substandard parts to aircraft on the production line. He also told BBC that the workers had failed to follow procedures, that substandard parts had been removed from scrap bins and fitted to planes that were built to prevent delays. Mind you, this is the same Boeing whose doors are literally popping off in the air. After retiring, Barnett embarked on a long-running legal action against the company. He accused them of denigrating his character and hampering his career because of the things that he pointed out. At the time of his death, he was in Charleston for legal interviews linked to that case. And last week, he gave formal deposition in this case. He was still due to undergo further questioning on Saturday, and that's when they found him in a truck in the hotel car park. Are you kidding me?
Y'all, this is one of the cases that I just cannot get over. I've seen a lot of people talk about this. This happened around 2020, but this is just one of those stories that I feel like a lot of people need to listen to, because a lot of people get fascinated by these things and these people and get obsessed with this stuff and just go poking into stuff that they're not educated with or that is not meant for them. So if you are not familiar with this story, I'm about to let y'all know what happened. So this 19-year-old self-proclaimed Wiccan decided that she wanted to hex her black girlfriend. Yes, her black girlfriend. And to reach out to Papa Legba. If you're not familiar with Papa Legba, I've made a video about him a while ago. You can go check that out on my page, but I can make a new updated version. But Papa, he is the spirit to the crossroad. That is his job, to connect with the gateway to the spiritual world. So if you've reached out to this black spiritual deity to hex your black girlfriend. So first of all, many people that I guess like she knew a lot of different people that did voodoo and practitioners and stuff like that did voodoo. They warned her. They said, you're not educated on this. You're just somebody that's probably watched American Horror Story and seen where they portrayed Papa Legba and got a little obsession with it, but you don't know this magic.
Oh, baby's here. Malia Obama is ditching her famous last name. The eldest daughter of former President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama is dropping Obama from the end of her name, opting to go by Malia Ann, which is the 25-year-old's middle name. Malia's new moniker pops up in a recent Meet the Artist video to promote the release of her new short film, The Heart, which recently premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in January.
My name is Malia, and I am the writer-director of a short called The Heart. Here are some stills from the film, which will be screened with the U.S. Fiction Short Films this year at Sundance. This is an odd little story, somewhat of a fable, about a man grieving the death of his mother after she leaves him an unusual request in her will.
The former first daughter also recently made her first ever red carpet appearance at the Sundance Film Festival in Utah last month. The project is Malia's directorial debut, though she's been working hard behind the scenes for many years, beginning with her internship on the hit HBO.
Explain why we're not getting to see these images live. The Apollo 11 landing was broadcast live. Why now don't we have the technology to see all of this live?
And we're getting a picture on the TV. Got a good picture, huh? He's on the moon. And the second man is on the moon. Neil Armstrong getting ready to move the TV camera now out to the panorama position. Okay, as far as distance goes, Neil, and we'll line you up again when you finish the panorama. Tell me if you got a picture, Houston. Well, we got a beautiful picture, Neil.
Issues with file transfers. We did have a number of communications glitches. We had either forward or return link problems.
Also, during coast in the zero gravity of environment of space,
it's very difficult to transmit on the fly, if you will, and get that all the way back to Earth.
Struggle to get communications.
Unfortunately, they're going to be in the darkness. They will not be sunlit, so we won't get very good video of them.
Is the red heifer. Yo, this is wild. It's written for the temple to be rebuilt. That ushers in the end times. All the tools that they use within the temple need to be cleansed. In order to do that, they sacrifice a red heifer. There's only been 9 red heifers ever sacrificed. The last red heifer to have been sacrificed was 2,000 years ago. A cattle rancher in Texas got invited with these rabbis to go look for red heifer. They found 5. The process was insane. They can never have been yoked. No one could have leaned on them. That's why it's been 2,000 years. They determined We finally found them. These 5 heifers are in Israel right now being like protected and guarded. They have 9 months to sacrifice this red heifer because they can't be like, older than 3 years old. He's basically saying like if this happens, you know we're now in the trajectory of this end times prophecy stuff. What's crazy too, with each sacrifice, they always mix the ashes of the previous red heifers. When they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, they also found a jar that had the previous 9 red heifers' ashes in it. Weird. Dating back to Moses.
Fly over these areas that are burned to the ground, you'll see in the midst of 20 homes that are just totally destroyed, one home sitting there because it had the right roof on it. And anyway, since I took office, FEMA's provided text.
So this
I don't know if you guys have heard what he said. You know, in the midst of all these burned homes, one was just okay because it had the right roof on it. Peep those conspiracy theories and see the blue roof theory, you know.
cell phone is connected to a tower that has microwaves, right? The data in the phone transmits out. It rides that beam of light, that microwave, it's a light wave. It rides it to the tower. It's piggybacking it to the tower. From that tower, it gets sent to other towers around, up into a satellite, depending on how far you are away. It drops it back down to a tower in your local region. And then the information that's encoded, the digital bits of information that's encoded into it, ride the wave down to the other person's device. And the device lights up. And then the processor inside the phone decodes the encoded piggyback message on the light wave. So we use light waves to send information because we found a way to piggyback the information on the wave of light and let it ride with it out. See? That's how things work. Now, look at the universe as a whole. Your mind is doing that every single thought that you think. You're sending information into space-time.
Social Darwinism again. In the animal kingdom, you preserve what is strong.
Hang on.
You give more food to the stronger animal.
Until humans
you don't feed the weaker one. I'm trying to... There's no welfare in
Nicholas,
the animal world.
I'm trying to remain as academically detached as I possibly can.
It's not an academically detached question.
Is so absolutely disgustingly outrageous. Now,
And
just
to me,
just wait a minute.
To me, it's disgustingly outrageous that you would help these weak people who are draining our resources, who are causing so many problems. We could be doing positive things in the world.
Zena, I want to ask
These weaklings are taking away all of our energy and resources. And you've decided to help them. That's disgusting to me.
You've never been to a...
You know, they say the eyes are the windows to the soul. And looking at these guys' eyes, I don't think there's a soul there.
Refugee camp.
Why would I possibly want to go to a refugee camp?
Well, Zena,
You have this masochistic love for weakness.
And what do you think that'll gain you?
Because women have more sensitive natures.
Soft.
I just want to make sure it isn't this firm resolve of this man who's over.
If you're going to get a soft reaction from me because I'm a woman, then you won't.
Pull up the Paul Harvey thing from whenever that was.
If I were the Prince of Darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. Wow. If I were the devil, within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. His own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. If I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing.
What year was that?
65, but...
Holy shit.
Have you heard of the Pope's audience hall? It lies partially in Vatican City and partially in Rome. Have a look at the image below and compare its shape to the image of a snake beside it. Note the overall shape. Wide back, narrow, rounded front. Eyes in the middle, nostril at the front, and curved top. In the image above, there are 2 windows on either side of the building that resemble eyes. So let's have a look at both of them together now. All of a sudden, we begin to see things taking shape here. 2 reptilian eyes staring at you as you observe the stage. What do you notice down the center? Either side, two sharp, pointed fangs. The building's roof and sides also resemble scales. Really pay attention to the whole building and stage layout next to the image of a snake. The eyes, the shape, the scales, the fangs. In the middle of the stage sits a statue of Christ rising from an atomic apocalypse. Do you notice anything about Jesus' head? It's difficult to see from the front, but when you view the statue from the sides, it becomes strikingly clear from both sides that the head of Jesus is meant to look like that of a snake. There's an obvious reason for this imagery. Why was this building built in such a way that the Pope appears to be speaking from the mouth of a reptile?
Give free sauce right now. I'm gonna give completely free sauce right now, zero charge. A site called VidTal where you could do YouTube ad research. What you do is you hit filter and you add unlisted. The only types of videos that are going to be unlisted but have tons of views are YouTube ads. Then you go to last 30 days and you sort from top to bottom. Now you have a list of the best performing YouTube ads in your niche. If your niche is course, then search that. If your niche is real estate, then search that, etc. I should have charged you for that information. Be grateful. Seriously.
This man here we may never see again because he has since disappeared after the filming of this video. He got in contact with a news crew after some claims had came out that he was able to do very interesting things with his mind. Watch this, and this is part 1, by the way.
Okay, it's my burn. Just like this.
For our sound recordist, it was also a shocker. He then took our newspaper outside and showed us how chi can also be used to set things on fire. When he heard we'd shown this footage in public, he was very upset and refused all our future efforts to contact him again. As the years passed, we sadly resigned ourselves to never seeing him again.
Now, I know the modern day education system has done a very good job at making people think things like this are totally impossible. We have no extra abilities that we can cultivate and harness if we put our mind to it. Stay tuned for the next video.
Hey guys, once again, I'm gonna show you guys something. So you see this reflection? The mirror thing doesn't just work on pure glass. You can also find a shiny enough reflection, just sort of
I don't know if this is some CGI or if it's real. I don't know. Somebody tell me down in the comment section below. What do you think about this video?
John River's still alive.
Yeah, John River's still alive. This is a man.
Seriously, I cannot walk down the stairs. You go. But you know, it would be nice if tonight I died on your show, because they would get to see a show and a death for the rest of your lives, audience.
They always tell you. They always tell you. See? Meanwhile, she's with the devil, Clive Davis. With the big bad wolf himself, Clive Davis. She just told you that her death was coming. A forever death. These are artificial intelligent beings. They never die. Their character dies, but not them.
Story, but I want to show it to you. That when the colonizers went into Kemet, renamed it Egypt, how they took the noses off of the statues so that they would not look African. So this is Horus. This is the image of Horus with the nose taken off. And here it is again. As you can see, rather than have these incredibly beautiful parts of our culture represent us, they destroyed them by removing the noses so that the noses did not look African. I tell you, standing here, I could just weep. I just feel the power of who we are and how much we've lost and how much we need to do.
And tell you what the alien agenda is. The alien agenda is the complete takeover of this planet, the killing off of 5, 6 to 7 eighths of the world's population by the year 2029. The U.S. military has known about this for 45 years. They've told no one. As far as I know, I'm the only person standing before a crowd talking about the alien agenda, secretively. The New World Order, the alien agenda is one and the same. It's world takeover and the decimation of the population of this planet. They're not cannibals. They don't eat the flesh and the bones and all that kind of stuff. They use the glandular secretions of animals and human beings as a mixture of the vitamins for their food. They get high off of our adrenal gland substances called adrenal chrome.
If you were at a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
you wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
I love my
This
life.
is
Guys, I don't. These celebrities we like, and we listen to their things and watch their movies. We should really look deeper into who they really represent and why they do the things they do. And all of this is just for entertainment purposes. That's a disclaimer.
Educational purposes or satire. So I've been thinking about it and I cracked it, okay? It makes perfect sense. Remember I told you the other day the Rothschilds are trying to make it. Let me slow down, I'm sorry. Remember the other day I told you the Rothschilds are trying to portray like they're broke, right? Then the youngest Rothschild unalived in the same hotel, which back in the day before they revised the Bible, they had presidents and other seances and things happening there, okay? So it's a very, very important hotel. Now, for the Rothschilds to be able to change their name over time and no one ever catch on that their family has been able to survive everything. Y'all, the Rothschilds have been here before the 1500s. They survived every bubonic plague, every flu, every freaking war, everything. How did they survive? Part of that was in the late 1900s. They were given a private island. You want to know where? On Antarctica. And it's protected by the Antarctic Treaty. So imagine if every time you research the world, you were capable by doing that because you had the money left over. You literally put yourself back in power before the reset. Think about where they're sending all the money right now. They're sending all the money to Israel and Gaza, who are owned by who? Stop playing, okay? The Barons, the Balfours, and the Rothschilds are the same people. The Church of England is in debt to that family. The United States in debt to that family. Then you have to keep in mind that all the presidents are descendants of the King and Queen of England. So that's pawns, okay? They're doing the work of King and Queen of England. The King and Queen of England is in debt to the Rothschild. What they say goes. So now we're about to restart the world, okay? Everything's going to start over. They got all the children they need for genetic DNA reasons to drop wherever they want to drop. They're not allowing the world to see the most valuable places right now. Cobalt, copper, limestone, all in melanated places. The Congo, Sudan, Nigeria. Gaza, oil. So right now they are overdriving in all the places they need for natural resources to take with them. Where is all that missing ammonium nitrate, which is also a boom boom and it's a fertilizer. So you want to restart the world. You're going to ask yourself one simple question. How can I reset the world and still be in power? Well, right now, as I said, we are funneling all the money in the world to Israel and Gaza. Where do you think that money is going? Whose bank account do you think that money is going to? And that's conveniently happened because they're going to say, well, that's not our money. That's not our land. We didn't even have the contract anymore because the expiration date for the Rawlford agreement was this year. So everything goes this year. How do you reset? Well, got the money, got the kids, got the food, got the underground world. Now you guys are trying to break up the filament. You want everybody looking up when everybody should be looking straight down. Part 2 of that, 15-minute cities. When we restart the world, how convenient would that be? Lorax style. Then you got weird stuff happening like it raining hydrochloric acid from the sky. And then the government making laws that they can come seize contaminate land that's contaminated by salt. So imagine all the land's now contaminated, can't do anything, and boom, 15-minute cities. That'll be the solution. That'll be the answer for everything across the world. Why not? Can't rebuild on land, but you got to give land to people. You got to provide for the people now because all the cake you gave them blew up. So now we're living in 15-minute cities. Children won't know what trees look like. Remember the Lorax. We'll be living in Book of Eli lifestyle. Handmaid's Tale because they'll need to repopulate. Maybe not even because all the lab meat they're practicing on cloning. That's another solution for things you already have. So all of us we don't even matter anymore. If you got children and you can get children without actually physically breeding children, because it takes one procedure to go, okay, and get things withdrawn from you, to get things implanted and inseminated, because they've been practicing in vitro for literally the last 10, 15 years. If you notice, in vitro can produce quadruplets on accident. Y'all remember Van Helsing, the movie where they had all the eggs just hanging there? All they needed was an electric charge, Frankenstein style. Okay, yes, I know, I'm nuts, I'm crazy. But you do all that and history rewrites, and the people rewriting history right now are the Rothschilds. Okay, everybody, you need to pay attention to the next sentence. I'm not joking. The Rothschilds are rewriting the numbers from COVID right now. If you control who, what, where, when, why, think of how easy it would be to say people who should have unalived at COVID, and you got death certificates for them, but they never actually unalived. All the children. How do you have missing foster children as young as 2 years old? 2-year-old reported as runaways. Then nobody's paying attention. Where are all the homeless people? Why are so many homeless people coming up missing? I mean, physically coming up missing. They got homeless shelters disappearing in the night, literally off of Google. Then I realized something really cool about movies. They make sure all the movies where they put information like I Am Rage, okay, a lot of you had a problem watching that movie because it was so bad acting, but that was on purpose, okay? The really great movies that everybody loves, okay, they put the jokes in there, the humor, those subliminals that you might not catch. But the boring movies that nobody will go sit down and watch is where they put the truth, okay? That is the easiest way to keep information passing from generation to generation. I told you, 4 people can control 400 years. All this is happening. You got weird disc-like things in parks now. They're practicing with sonar technology. They're practicing with lasers. They're creating fake aurora lights, red and green lasers that'll come from the sky. Just saw Maui. And again, I don't think something hit Maui. I think something came out of Maui. Got over 2,000 earthquakes in Ireland or Iceland. Excuse me, I forgot which one. You got weird fires that poured out red smoke, and you want to joke and say Nibiru isn't real, but you got Nibiru all the way back to Scooby-Doo cartoons. Trump talking about he defeated Nibiru. I'm at the point to believe that there's actually something really going on. There is actual spiritual worlds, and every time you pray to Jesus, every time you go and give to a religion that's already tainted, you're literally perpetuating their control, their ability to continue what they're doing. Look at the religious war happening right now. All of you supporting things because they're saying that Israel is supposed to be the promised land, and people are taking about the promised land. We're fighting over something that was rewritten in 1881 30,000 times that allowed for people to literally say what they wanted to say. That way, when they played it out, it wouldn't be questioned because it's in the Bible. Crazy. Why does our history book resemble the Bible so much? Got things like Queen Sheba that don't exist but does exist. Things like that you can't explain. And I feel like MK is real. And every time people wake up, every time in an era, there's a great reset, okay? About 180 years, just everything refreshes. Think about it. You had the influenza flu that happened around 1917. Well, what else was happening around 1917? Okay? Stay weird with me for a second. Imagine every time people woke up, okay, you had to restart and refresh and erase history itself. How easy would it be to erase technology, erase statues, erase everything? You got things under lakes, you got things that were bombed, okay? You got things, historical places that we don't even know about that are buried. Why? Why are they just now finding pyramids and stuff in America? So I feel like every time there's a giant bubonic plague or a giant flu or something that just wipes out millions of people, it was systematically done on purpose. Just think about it. If you wipe up all the adults, all the older people, and you just have children, you can reteach children. You can indoctrinate children to think whatever you want if you show them papers that match it. And now we're in the era of all those children that you show us paper to, we're looking at the papers twice. That is where we are right now in the real world. Our parents' generation, they were too tired to fight back. They were too indoctrinated to fight back. But us right now in Gen X, we're questioning everything. We're questioning everything. Look, COVID, out of nowhere. They attempted the Great Reset. Didn't happen. Why y'all build a soul-catching wall in Ukraine right now at this time? Think about it. Everything we do in this world, unless you're atheist, perpetuated by some religious need, some religious state, some religious stigma to be something. If you control religion, you control the money. If you control the money, you control the world. And you can control every time it needs to be refreshed, like a video game. Again, how did you guys manage to make it from every single plague, every bubonic disease, every flood, everything you made it from the 1500s? Not only did you make it, but you made it out on top.
She's onto something. She's definitely onto something. I mean, you know, the World WEF, you know, founder Klaus Schwab has a book called The Great Reset. What are they resetting? Why is it the Great Reset? You know, you just have to think critically and ask yourself questions. That's the video, guys. Thank you for watching up to the very end. Click the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's meet on the next video.